For the provenance part, we have a setup of network of 6 nodes where the 5 nodes will be working as a vehicles, which we have shown over here. This is the node 1, this is node 2, node 3, node 4 and node 5. We have shown the node 1 with the screen so that we can know what is happening in the node 1, and the 6th node is our RSU node through which we can see what is happening on the RSU side. Now we are starting the neighbor discovery phase. In neighbor discovery phase, nodes will find out their neighbors and embed the corresponding edges into the Bloom filter and send it to the RSU. RSU has commanded all the nodes to get enter into phase 3. Now all the nodes will start sending their edges. We have received the neighbors information from node 1. Node 1 has sent its neighbor edges. Now we have received the information from node 2. Node 2 has conveyed its neighbor information to RSU. Now we have received the information from node 3. RSU has learned the neighbor information of node 3. We have received the neighbor information from node 4. RSU has learned the neighbor information of node 4. RSU has learned the neighbor information of node 5. And this is the final graph learned by the RSU. Now we can see that node 1 is connected with edge 1, 2 and edge 1, 3. So the neighbors of node are 2 and 3 and its edges are 1, 1, 3 and 1, 2. Node 2 is connected with 1, 3 and 4 and the edges are 1, 2, 2, 3 and 2, 4. Node 3 is connected with 1, 2, 5 and 4 and correspondingly it sends the neighbor edge information to the RSU. Similarly, node 4 has sent its neighbor information. Node 4 is connected with 3, 2, 5 and 6. Node 5 is connected with node 3, node 4 and node 6, and node 5 has sent its neighbor information which is recovered by the RSU. And this is the final learned graph by the RSU. We can see that this graph is sufficiently sparse. We can see that node 1 is not connected with node 5. Node 1 is not directly connected with node 4. Node 1 is not directly connected with node 6. Node 3 is not connected with node 6. Similarly, node 2 is not connected with node 5. So the graph is sufficiently sparse. Now we can analyze the adjacency matrix learned by the RSU. So we can see that the adjacency matrix is sufficiently sparse. Now we are starting the phase 4. In phase 4, all the nodes will be sending the payload messages to the RSU and RSU will try to recover the path through which the packet has traversed. So we are starting the phase 4. So we have commanded all the nodes to enter into the phase 4, that is the payload phase. We are asking the node 1 to send the 5 payload messages. We have received the second payload message. We have received the third payload message from node 1. We have received the fourth payload message from node 1, fifth and sixth. Now we will analyze that through which path the packet has traveled to the RSU and how does the RSU learn the path. We can see that the packet number 0 has took the path 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6, where node 1 has prepared its payload, increased the hop counter and sent to the node 2. Now node 2 will embed the edge 1, 2 and 2, 3 and increase the hop counter and send forward it to node 3. Node 3 will only increase the hop counter and send the packet to node 5. Node 5 will do the edge embedding, double edge embedding 3, 5 and 5, 6 and forward it to the RSU. The packet number 1 has took the path 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, where node 1 has prepared its payload, increased the hop counter and send it to node 3. Node 3 will embed the edge 1, 3, 3, 5 and increase the hop counter and forward the packet to node 5. Node 5 will only increase the hop counter and forward the packet to node 4. Node 4 have done the embedding of 5, 4 and 4, 6 and increase the hop counter and sent to the RSU. The packet number 2 has took the path 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Packet number 3 has took the path 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, where node 1 has prepared its payload, increase the hop counter and send it to node 3. Node 3 has embedded the edge 1, 3, 3, 4, increase the hop counter and forward the packet to node 4. Node 4 will only increase the hop counter and forward the packet to node 5. Node 5 has done the embedding of edge 4, 5 and 5, 6 and increase the hop counter and sent to node 6. Similarly, packet number 4 has followed the path 1, 3, 5, 4, 6 and packet number 5 has followed the path 1, 3, 4, 6. Now let us clear this display. Let us ask any other node to send the packet. We ask the node number 2 to send 6 packets. So we have received the first packet, second, we have received the third packet, fourth packet, fifth packet and sixth packet. So now we will analyze that what are the path followed by the packets to travel from node 2 to node 6. So the packet number 0 has took the path 2, 4, 5, 6, where node 2 is the source node which has embedded its payload, increased the hop counter and forward the packet to its neighbor which is node 4. Now node 4 has done the double edge embedding of 2, 4 and 4, 5, increase the hop counter into the packet and forward the packet to node 5. Node 5 will only increase the hop counter and send to node 6. The packet number 1 has followed the path 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, where node 2 is the source node which has embedded its payload, increased the hop counter and sent to the node 3. Node 3 has embedded the edge 3, 2 and 3, 5 into the packet, increase the hop counter and send the packet to node 5. Node 5 will only increase the hop counter and send to node 4. Node 4 will do the double edge embedding of 5, 4 and 4, 6 and increase the hop counter. After increasing the hop counter, it forwarded the packet to RSU. Node 2 has followed the path 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 has followed the path, same path 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 has followed the path 2, 4, 5, 6 and 5 has followed the path 2, 3, 4, 6. Now let us ask node 3 to send the 6 packets. First of all, let us clear the display. Node 3rd has sent first packet, second one, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Now let us analyze that what are the path followed by the packets to travel from source node 3 to RSU. So the first packet has followed the path 3, 5, 6, where 3 is the source node which has done the embedding of its payload, and increase the hop counter and send it to node 5. Node 5 has done the double edge embedding and it reaches the RSU. Node 1 has, packet 1 has followed the path 3, 5, 4, 6, where 3 is the source node, 5th is the embedding node, 4th is only forwarding node which increases only the hop counter and sent to the node 6. Packet number 2 has followed the same path 3, 5, 6. Packet number 3 has followed the path 3, 4, 5, 6. Packet number 4 has followed the path 3, 5, 6. And packet number 5 has followed the path 3, 5, 4, 6. Now let us clear the display. Now to study the benefits of the topology, we have fixed the path so that we can know how much time the RSU will take to recover the path if it knows the topology, and how much time it takes if RSU don't know the topology. We ask the node 1 to send the packet. We can see that node 1 has embedded its payload and increased the hop count and forwarded the packet to node 2. Node 2 increase the hop count and embed the edges 1, 2 and 2, 3 and forward the packet to node 3. Node 3 only increase the hop count and forward the packet to node 4, and node 4 will do the double edge embedding, that is will add the edges 3, 4 and 4, 5 and forward the packet to node 5. Node 5 will only increase the hop count and send to node 6. We have asked the node 1 to send the packet 2 times. We can see that the packet 0 has followed the path 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Similarly, the packet 2 also has followed the same path 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we will see that how much gain we have this time. This time we can see that we have 10% gain if we know the topology. So if the network is sparse and RSU knows the topology, then RSU can recover the path in less time as compared to the case when RSU don't know the topology. Now let us see how the edge and double edge embedding help us in detecting the security threat. Suppose one of the node does not want to reveal its identity for some reason and skips the embedding. So can we detect any kind of security threat in this case? Let's see, the path is full. Let's say the path will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and if any of the node intentionally skips the embedding, whether it is node 2 which has to done the double edge embedding, or node 3 which has only to increase the hop count, so can we detect any kind of security threat in this case if any of the node skips the embedding? So let us ask the node 2 to skip the embedding. Now node 2 will not be doing the embedding. We can see that no path is recovered through the DFS. Why there is no path recovered? Because from the Bloom filter, the RSU would have recovered the edges as 2, 3, 4 and 4, 5, 6. Node 1 has embedded its payload and forwarded it to the node 2. Node 2, instead of doing any kind of embedding or increasing the hop count, only just forwarded the packet to node 3. Node 3 have done the double edge embedding of edge 2, 3 and edge 3, 4 and increased the hop count and forwarded this packet to node 4. Node 4 only has increased the hop count and forwarded the packet to node 5, and node 5 has done the double edge embedding, that is edge 4, 5 and 5, 6, increase the hop count and forward the packet to node 6. When the packet is received at RSU will do the Bloom filter processing and it find out that only edge 2, 3, 3, 4 are present and edge 4, 5, 5, 6 are present. But if it looks into the source ID of the packet, it comes out to be 1. So it gives us an alert that there is a security threat because edge 1, 2 is not present. Now let us ask the node 2 to start embedding again. Now we ask the node 3 to skip the embedding. Now node 3 has skipped the embedding, and now we ask the node 1 to send the packet again. Now we can see that we have not received any kind of path, but we have recovered the edges edge 1, 2, 3 and edge 4, 5, 6. What would have happened in this case? Node 1 has prepared its payload and forwarded the packet to node 2. Node 2 has increased the hop count and done the double edge embedding, that is edge 1 2 and edge 2 3 into the Bloom filter, and forwarded it to node 3. Now node 3 is skipping, so instead of doing any kind of processing on the packet, that is increasing the hop counter, it just forward the packet to node 4. Node 4 will increase the hop count now and forward the packet to node 5. Node 5 will do the double edge embedding, that is it will add the edges edge 4 5 5 6, increase the hop count and forward it to node 6. Node 6 recover the packet and it tries to read the Bloom filter. From the Bloom filter, it would have get the values edge 4 5 6 and edge 1 2 3, but it does not recover the edge 3 4. So it has given us the alert that no path is formed. So there is a security threat. Some node might have skipped the embedding. So let us ask the node 3 to start embedding again. Now we will ask the node 4 to skip the embedding. Now asking the node 1 to send the packets again. So this time also we have received the security threat. Node 1 has done the payload embedding and increase the hop count and forwarded it to node 2. Node 2 has done the double edge embedding, forwarded it to node 3. Node 3 has increased the hop count and forwarded it to node 4. Node 4, instead of doing the double edge embedding or increasing the hop count, has forwarded the packet to node 5. Node 5 increase the hop count and do the double edge embedding of edge 4 5 and 5 6 and forwarded it to node 6. So we see that there is no path formed, but the edges recovered are 1 2 3 4 5 6, and there is a missing edge, that is edge 3 4. So it has given us the alert that there is a security threat. Now we are asking the node 4 to start embedding again. Now let us ask the node 5 to skip the embedding, that is the penalty made node just before the RSU. Node 5 has skipped the embedding. Now we ask the node 1 to send the packets. We can see that there is no path formed. There is a security threat. From the Bloom filter, the RSU would have recovered the edges 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, but it has not recovered the edge. Why it has not recovered the edge? Because the node 5 has not increased the hop count. So node 6 would not have embedded its edge 6, 5. So it tells us that there is a security threat in this case. We have clearly seen that edge embedding and double edge embedding help us in detecting the security threat, but this will not be possible if we have used the node embedding. As node embedding just give us the node IDs through which the packet has traversed, but it does not give us the order in which the packet has visited the nodes. Thank you.